All right, let's get into it.
All right, let's do it. Been looking forward to seeing this match.
All right, I'm gonna run a short video. The reason I run these little clips is because I create a YouTube video out of this, and it sort of is the introductory segment. Be right back in 5 seconds. Dewalt vs Khala, PvP, best of 7, cash prize show match. Let's do it. For Ire, we have Dewalt, top right. And Khala, bottom left. One of the greatest Protoss usernames. For those who know what his name means. And he's also known as Bai Maru. Currently 2400 to 2500 MMR. Korean Protoss player. Catch him on Twitch at 94 Khala. And arguably one of the greatest foreign Protoss players, Dewalt, from Siberia. As has been pointed out, he can play Koreans without too much of a lag issue.
Khala streams pretty regularly. I've followed his stream. He streams almost daily.
And the show matches I've set up with him are basically done over Twitch. Late at night here. But I got lucky, I guess, and Dewalt logged on and was willing to play a great Protoss player before his epic PvP 9-game show match that's scheduled against Bonith. We will be casting and streaming that in the new year with more details to come.
Wow. So I don't know much about PvP matchup, but I imagine that's a pretty big deal losing your scouting probe.
Sucks in any matchup, but it was cool to watch. Even though I love Dewalt.
Not Dewalt playing with not only with a small, a one worker disadvantage, but also very little information about his opponent. But so far, going from mirror builds pretty much around the same time. Hasn't really, that won't change Dewalt's. It won't. It doesn't hurt his economy, so to speak, but it does mean he has to play in the dark. So Khala adding another Nexus first. I'm sorry, not Nexus, but Gateway first. And Dewalt opting to go for the robotics bay. My guess is because he doesn't have any information about Khala, he wants to be ready. He wants to have an observer out early. For one reason, so he can get a scout, but also so he's ready for DT tactics. So I think I don't know if he was planning to go for a robo this early, but at this point, this is the way he's chosen to adapt to the lack of information. And I think it's pretty strong overall. It gives you the opportunity to get you're eventually will transition into Beaver and shuttle production anyways. So it's a little bit more of an economic commitment than going for a forge would be, but it is stronger than a forge. So I'll just testing to see if he can aggro up, get some free shots out. And robo nearly complete for Khala, so we shouldn't see any significant tech advantage for Dewalt, despite going for the earlier robo. Dewalt has managed to get a 3-worker advantage. So I think Khala should have, I'm not sure about the goon count. I think Khala has to make 2 more goons coming up. Yeah. So Dewalt will probably need to pull back up on the ramp. Yeah, he wants to get, I don't know if he can fight this. I don't know if he's, yeah. He does get the pick off, but he doesn't have Khala keeping the Winded Goon in the back is good. Okay, he does have high ground though. Khala needs to back out of here now. Alright, Dewalt will be able to get his expansion up. First Reaver nearly popping out for Dewalt, so he should be safe to get the second base up and going. I like the scouting probe Khala has at the third base location, just so you can see the move out if a shuttle heads out that way. Khala about to finish his own robotic support base, so he'll be able to have his own Reavers here soon, but for now Dewalt does have the tech lead and is able to get up his second base, although without putting pressure on Khala, Khala is able to do so as well. Dewalt still with a 6-worker advantage. So he may have a small lead. I'm not. Yeah, both Nexuses will finish close to the same time, so Dewalt will have a small economic lead, but we'll see how this goes. Dewalt might have been a second late with the transfer. Shouldn't make a huge difference. But... Alright, Dewalt adding in a second Nexus. A second assimilator. So I'm wondering if we're gonna see extra Reavers from him, or if he's gonna try and transition into Templar tech. It's a little dangerous moving out with those Reavers. Alright, he does have the probe, so able to push Khala away.
2 platforms, each one takes his own. I don't know.
Yeah, man,
Dewalt's looking pretty strong to me with the 2 Reavers, but it just depends on how they engage. There's 2 Reavers for Khala.
he does have. Well, Khala is going to have his own shuttle by Dewalt arrives, so he's going to just use it for push rather than harassment. So we'll see. But Khala, I mean, Dewalt doesn't have much scouting information, so if he doesn't put some pressure on the front, he's going to have to address the potential for Reaver drops. So it looks like he's opting to just pull back, get a third base, and then reset from there. Now, Dewalt adding in the first upgrade, he's getting +1 attack now. He's oh wow, nice connection. Dewalt a 10-11 supply advantage, so keeping up with the macro. But we'll see if he's ready for this drop. Wow, nice. About evens up the probe count with that scarab shot. So good harassed by Khala. Looks like we may have a shuttle moving out to do harass. No, I'm sorry, that's Khala. My bad.
All good?
It
I'm
looks
wondering what
Khala
the
may be
dots are on
wrapping
the map.
around. I think that's a shuttle wrapping around. No, that's a OBS. Sorry, it's hard to tell with just looking at globs on the map.
I try to click on the dots too, figure out what they are.
Oh, it's hardest this cast is like Terran versus Terran whenever they have tons of mines everywhere and you're not sure what's a unit and what's a mine.
Yeah. Okay. Dewalt's looking pretty good.
I'm surprised he has not taken the Nexus yet. Khala is getting his up slightly faster.
Dewalt's gone for Zealots.
And despite the supply advantage from Dewalt, Khala still seems to be a little bit more in control of how the game's progressing. So I'm not sure if, what exactly Dewalt's strat is. He is mixing in a lot of Zealot. Don't see many yet for Khala. He is adding in some, but Dewalt looks like he's getting ready for a fight here soon, adding in Templar, turning him into Archons. So I don't think he got Storm. Khala is opting for Storm, so I look like we have some divergent techs here. But again, taking that extra gas, I think that kind of signaled that Dewalt wanted to get an early lead in Templar tech. So we'll see how this goes. Zealot Archon's pretty strong, but the Reavers are still the king.
Moving around a lot, looking restless. Are we gonna see an engage?
Looks like we might have a sneaky base coming out from Khala. Either that or he's just scouting, but 5 o'clock. 4 o'clock, sorry. But yeah, good fight is what matters at the moment. Well, gets a good position on the...
No, this is not a
Reaver,
good
but
position
isn't
for
able to focus it
Dewalt.
down. Yeah, it looks like it looked promising for a second.
Got a Reaver.
Get one Reaver. But he wasn't able to focus it down as quickly as he should have. He took a lot of damage. Nice pickup by Dewalt. Dewalt's Reaver micro looking good, but position maybe not the best, but strategically his position is very good. He is affect his position, rallying over more Zealots, and he may be able to. He may have to. He will need to pull back here, but he may be able to sack. Kill the third. Oh, the shuttle goes down. This is huge. At this point, Khala is the base killed, and he did kill the base. So let's see if Dewalt can manage to stabilize, hold his third. then the game's even. But this is a lot of goons headed for base, and he has no tech. His Archons are gone. His Reavers are dead. It's just Zealot.
He needs this group of units. I'm hoping he sends them back. A few Dragoons there, if he can just buy some time.
Yeah, this is. I think this is probably a killing blow, but we'll see. Reavers should be out soon. Does have High Templar, probably no energy for Storm though. I don't know, running out there like this. Zealots are strong, but they're not tanking. They're not good on their own. They're tanking for damage dealers. Fortunately, he didn't even have Archons morphing, and the High Templar just go down for free. Desperation DTs. Good dodge on the storms, but 2 DTs, I don't think they're going to clean this up fast enough. Dewalt did research Storm. Alright, now the Obs are here. Time of the Dark Templar is over. They did buy time for the Reaver, but his economy is... He's still ahead in probes, so... But this is just a very hard hold, and he brings the Reaver down the low ground. I don't think this is really what you want to be doing for Dewalt. Another Reaver starts, but again, no tech. There's no muscle out here for Dewalt. He's gonna have to sacrifice his natural. Yeah. It was a great strategic move made by Dewalt, but I think I don't know what happened there exactly, but he ate storms on his Reavers and didn't really dodge them that well. So I mean, I think by the time that storms hit your Reavers, it's too late to pick up with the shuttle. So
like that first big engagement between them, I feel like at the beginning of it, Dewalt didn't have the best position, and part of that has to do with the fact that he took a group of units to attack Khala's third, but he was trading okay. Like, it was an awful... Khala had backed off, and then he went back at him. At the end of it, it seems like Dewalt should have taken that group of units that was in the third and used it at the end of that battle. And I think he would have incurred less losses. Even that aside, if he had sent that group of units back home earlier, and he had a few Dragoons too that he had sent back, and maybe like saved his Zealots for when Khala was attacking him and like masked up. Although I think he would have probably lost his like natural. But what I'm saying is he should have sort of like bought some time and timed it correctly to stop that. I think he was ahead because he had that third. All he had to do obviously was stop that attack. I don't think it was impossible. He could have pulled probed for it, right?
He was also there were storms though, so
they came like in the second, like the first batch that Khala sent, it was just Dragoons.
Okay, yeah. Then he probably could have like body blocked them.
He just needed to buy some time. He had some Dragoons Dewalt did, like, that were behind, and then he had that like group of units with an Archon, a few Zealots, a Dragoon. I'm just saying, if those had come back earlier, and he had like used them in sync with the Zealots he had, and maybe probes, he probably would have stopped that. But that was kind of the game-changing moment, I guess.
Yeah, even going before that, when he was taking Khala's third, Khala didn't move in to save the third until I guess the Nexus was almost dead anyways. I think Dewalt should have been in retreat like mindset, like try to slow retreat, but have it so that like he was not gonna just lose the Reavers. He was in like he wanted to stand and fight when he really should have been backing up. Because if you trade off, you know, what, an Archon or two, a couple Dragoons and some Zealots, but you kill the opponent's third when you already have your third up, I think you take that trade and you keep the core of your army. So he lost the core of his army in that fight.
Right. Storms are pretty strong, as someone was saying.
Yeah. So difficult. StarCraft's a hard game, but well played by both of them. Like Dewalt, I don't really feel like Dewalt. I feel like Khala was more in control of the pace of the game, but Dewalt was not really missing his macro. So it's a good matchup.
Guys, we got an open cast invite. If you're listening to this and you're interested, hop into our voice channel and co-cast the games with us. I'm really enjoying this PvP between Dewalt and Khala. I know how to say so I say Khala, and it's what a great Protoss name. Do you know what it means?
I know it refers to the like link between
Yeah.
Protoss and Ice.
It's awesome.
Well, it's not
And
really
it doesn't exist between all the units at all times. Like the Dark Templars were not.
Mm-hmm. They had their there's like a specific like organ that they use to communicate, and so like they
Right. It's also like it's the collectivist philosophy within the race, and not all the units subscribe to it. So the Dark Templars historically were more individualistic. It's actually quite fascinating, but obviously being a collective social being, I think it's just an awesome name. So we got Khala here in the bottom left. I believe this is Circuit Breakers. And Dewalt in the top left. Vertical positions.
I'm not aware of any other maps with that tile set. That's a 4-player map. Did you ever have like one of the original box sets for StarCraft with like the big game manual?
Yeah.
And I'm not referring
I don't remember
to,
it at all, but I remember that was
little
a thing.
boxes. I'm talking about the really big boxes that they used to have that were like 2 inches thick and were like.
You don't still have it, do you?
Tall. I don't have mine, but
You wish you did.
well, it came with a big manual, and it had these extensive backstories for each of the factions.
Yeah.
And that was fun to read.
I mean, StarCraft came out around the time that internet was popularized, so it became one of the first games that you played on the internet. Many people just jumped right onto multiplayer.
Yeah, I think there was like Command and Conquer was like the first strategy game. I think that went to the internet.
Warcraft around the same time. So really, the history of StarCraft at the beginning is intertwined with the history of the internet in some ways. That's what made it so fun. Oh wow, you can play with people, online, instead of playing a PlayStation in your room by yourself.
Yeah, man, I remember like around the time StarCraft came out, I first played StarCraft or watched it around the same time. We had first got internet as well. I don't even think we had internet. It was just like email.
And like AOL was really popular back then.
But I remember, we had an ISP. Yeah, we had an ISP, and we just subscribed for the email, not the internet. I think they actually gave email maybe for free or for very little compared to like the internet access. But I remember like when we first got email set up, and so you get on the computer and like, oh, we're in Virginia, we're gonna type this letter, send it to our friend in Oregon, and then like the next morning we had a letter back from him, and it's like, whoa, this is so cool.
Yeah.
Like, so used to the idea of, you send a letter to somebody, you wait a couple weeks because that's
Right.
go all over the other side of the country, they sit on it for a day or two, and then it comes back.
Yeah, if only I can go back in time and try out these builds and strategies. So my claim to fame back then was actually playing with the best StarCraft players. I would rarely take a game off them. XDSker I played with, Elky. This was a very long time ago. But I could
Khala versus
never
Dewalt.
become one of the top players, and by 2004 I realized it and created and managed a team called ThinkQuick. That's where the history of our team starts. Because of my failure to become a good player. Now I remember being a teenager and thinking, I'm smarter! Why ain't I so good at this game? Just didn't really, wasn't in the books for me. And I played longer hours than some players, but... So here we go, and engage. Same units.
Good control by Dewalt, but
That's interesting.
I don't know, maybe it's internet. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, those two Dragoons of Khala's are pretty hurt.
Are the Khalas or are they Dewalts? Oh, never mind. I got the colors.
Dewalt is yellow. Let's see if he can pick off.
Dewalt's yellow. Yellow and Dewalt and Khala are both yellow.
Yeah, I think one of them is what, like olive
Yeah.
color? Not really.
No, you're right. It is all. It's a different color. It's
I don't know if it's olive. It looks.
It's kind of hard to tell when you're looking at the.
It's kind of gold. It's like gold dustish.
Oh, he changes targets. Dewalt changing targets. So I think Dewalt technically comes on top of that engagement, but more Dragoons coming out for Khala. I think that's a probe.
Yeah, I'm surprised he's so aggressive. But there's a expansion for Dewalt. There's one for Khala. And he's gonna back away. Robotics Bay.
Go for one base Dragoon play.
Almost identical timing.
Mm-hmm. I feel like PvP is where the matchup where we see the least variation of builds. As in, not so much the number of builds that can be done, but I mean, the players tend to mirror each other very frequently.
In the game.
Yeah. I mean, like Terran versus Terran, you basically always go for the same units because that's just the units you get. But you
This
can
is
see
my
small
favorite,
variations, like someone may rely on wraiths, whereas someone else may go for, Goliaths or, So, but I feel like in PvP, you often see this exact same timing transitions and whatnot out of the same strategy. Zerg versus Zerg probably also actually has the least variation, but that's because past fire, just basic mutalist tech. But anyways, we do have a shuttle coming for Khala. I don't believe that Dewalt has made one, so what is he choosing? Now he adds his own just later. Khala has not taken the second gas, I believe. Just
Only now.
Dewalt should have just a tiny, probably not even significant gas lead. But then he adds a forge, so it looks like he's wanting to take this later. Whereas Khala, now Khala adds a forge too. Oh, Oh, it duds out.
That's unfortunate. I wonder if
Oh,
he was
very
trying to drop
unfortunate.
it inside the mineral line, and it just
Yeah, that's
happened to.
unfortunate too, because Dewalt defended his.
He had a
But
good 2
Khala
or
was
3
ready.
seconds before Khala had reacted.
Yeah, man. You know, for all the things Protoss does, they have probably the most difficult units to harass with. Gotta be careful though, he might lose his. Ooh. Nice. Nice shuttle control. But Khala with a double reaver. Oh, as I'm afraid that's game right there. Not sure what happened that game. I felt like Dewalt held fine, but it seemed like he just kind of didn't. I'm not sure. I didn't see any deviations in the builds, but that Khala was able to squeeze a little bit more out of the time
I'm
they
not
have.
sure what he could have done differently. I think his second Reaver was about to come out. I want to say maybe guard in front of those bridges and not allow Khala to get inside and outside of his natural and just kind of buy some time. He did
You
have
have to
a
be
few
careful
less
though, because if you're
units.
too far out, then the Reaver can, the shuttle
Yeah,
can
that's
drop
true.
Reavers around the side. So, not having cannons, you have to be careful not to be out of position.
Alright, so it's 2-0 for Khala, whose debut show match is being premiered now. Third game is on the map Fighting Spirit by Rose of Dream. We got D in the top left and K in the bottom right in an unfortunate color. I'm a horrible observer and I can't see stuff even when it's a bright color like yellow on the minimap, let alone when it's black. But I'll try my best, folks.
I think black Zerg looks cool. Like black Zerglings.
I mean, some people pick that color intentionally so that your opponent wouldn't be able to see the units on the minimap, but you know, you can just, what is it, shift tab in game?
Yeah.
Some people do that. But it's really not a good color, and I suspect the software developers weren't actually thinking about visibility of the minimap being a thing. Because the logic of like updates and all that assumes like balance and fairness is important. So I feel them intentionally putting in a color that someone could use to their benefit wasn't really, you know, what they intended to do, if that makes sense. I might be wrong though, I don't know.
Yeah, it's kind of funny how you can use different colors to your advantage at times. Some other games will have similar issues though, like cosmetics.
And then some of the colors are just too similar.
Yeah, and I think many games like MOBAs or some first-person shooters, cosmetics have just become so commonplace that I feel like 10, 15 years ago, I remember like Halo 2 was out, people were complaining about players picking the elite model instead of the Spartan model because they thought, oh, even though it wasn't true, they still had this perception that the elite model had a bigger head. But I feel like now though, cosmetics are so commonplace, people don't even think about, well, does my bright coloring and stuff, does that actually help me? Does it hurt me? So we see a pretty much a mirroring build here, but I think Dewalt hasn't scouted Khala yet. He's slightly later with his probe scout as well. Yeah, it looks like identical builds, just slightly faster for Khala in each. Yeah. Khala's done, I think that had something to do with the scout timing, because I don't think Dewalt Zealot was out in time to block the ramp. So again, like we had in game one, Khala has the information advantage here. So we might see, I would guess that we're again going to see RoboBay early Dewalt so he can have a observer board. I'm sorry, this Dota player coming out. The observer out. But who knows? Yep, there it is. Robotics Bay. From Khala, though. Huh. I think we'll still see one from Dewalt early. Ooh, what's this? Yeah, that's a location that's probably not going to be scouted for a long time.
We got a Nexus, man. No Robo for Dewalt.
Yeah, Collis hasn't thrown down his. Yeah, that's an interesting move to make. I wonder why he thinks he can get away with it. Because there's no forge. I mean, in theory, DTs could be available here very soon. I think his timing's late, actually. Like, he could technically be at risk from DTs if they were rushed. But
Okay, man, putting down his Nexus. D-Man picks off a probe.
I'm still confused by this pylon down at 7 o'clock. Is it just a scouter? It might just be a scouting pylon. It is along a path that you might send a shuttle, but just find that a little strange. Yeah, I don't know. I played StarCraft 2 before, and you know, anytime you see a pylon anywhere besides the base, you immediately think proxy tech, proxy Stargate, something like that.
See warp in units. Yeah.
Warp in units. Yep. I was a common practice when I was a Protoss player. I played the what was it, the 3-gate? I think it was 3-gate Link Stalker all in. Not 3-gate. It was probably 5-gate actually.
Yeah. That's
Put down
probably
proxy pylon right outside their.
around the time we were playing. We reactivated when SC2 came out, tried to get sponsor. We had a pretty good US East team, but didn't happen. And to be honest, I always compared the game to Brood War, which I played for longer.
Yeah, they're totally different games in many ways.
Yeah. I don't put down SC2. It's StarCraft. It's a great game by itself, but not my cup
I've
of
come
tea.
to enjoy the like I played StarCraft 2 probably about 7.
It's a very fast-paced game, in my
It is.
opinion.
Like when I was playing it about 6 years ago or so, it was still a little slower than it is now. But you know, as I got into playing it, I watched some of the pro games, and then I started watching like the various pro league, MSL, OSL that were casted by just VODs on YouTube that Moltrap and Diggity would do, and I don't know. I just really liked watching Brood War, so I would keep playing StarCraft 2. But what I really liked watching was Brood War. And many times I would actually watch the non-translated Korean versions if I couldn't find English versions of the cast, and I would just.
I found you could just micro better in Brood War. It's slower pace.
Yeah,
One
yeah,
base is more tenable.
I feel like it's just easier to see differences in builds, and like the personality player shows through a lot more. So I don't know. I've enjoyed. I think the units are unique as well.
So I thought
The
Shift Tab
person-
would give me yellow colors here, folks, but it gave me a good red color, and we should be able to see stuff on the minimap now, or at least I should be. K-Man going for a kill.
I think also part of the thing was StarCraft 2 had. I played StarCraft 2 mostly during the Dark Age, which was Heart of the Swarm, and basically there was just every matchup had basically a very set meta, and it was a very kind of death ball meta. You just kind of made counter units, and you tried to. Anyways, let's see this fight here. We now have 2 Reavers. He eats a shot. Good pickup by Khala. Dewalt not fighting with all of his Dragoons here. Don't like this trade he's making. Dragoon. Reaver. Not fighting with 0 Dragoons. He's gonna
Oh my god.
Man, there's 5 Dragoons sitting up there, not even contributing. He's not focusing the Reavers. He needs to focus the. He has a chance of holding. I think he's right now just trying to decide what he can do. It's looking pretty rough for Dewalt. I don't even think there's a shuttle. Good job microing it back. He's forcing Khala's units in further, but Khala missing a little bit of an opportunity to pick off the Dragoon. The Reaver. Oh.
Reaver suicide.
Fighting with the probes now. This is. Yeah. Dewalt's fighting for his life here, but I don't really see how he can come out on top of this. The reinforcements favor him, but. There's just so much coming up from the wall.
Only behind in 5 probes, but needs a few more units.
He's not dead, but he's not really alive. Do you have a gateway out there? Good focus fire on the injured Dragoon. He needs to focus. He's got to focus fire. These Dragoons. Nice Scarab shot. This is really tense. Where did that Dragoon come from? The Dragoon came from 12 o'clock, but there's no gateway there. I don't know what was going on. Dewalt missing some opportunities with units, I've noticed. He hasn't always...
That first engagement, I feel like he wasn't multitasking as well as
No, he wasn't.
Khala. He was focusing more on his Reavers and shuttle and...
Sometimes you don't want to just attack with all your units at once, but...
Was he down on a Reaver too? I think Khala had 2 Reavers, right? And...
They both had 2 Reavers.
Oh, okay. Well...
Dewalt lost his first. He also lost the shuttle pretty... Well, actually, I guess Khala lost his too, so... But yeah, there are times you don't want to fight with your... But I don't think this is a time where you... I don't think this is one of those... So, pretty healthy supply lead for Khala. Almost 30 supply advantage. He has not taken the third, so he's really just trying to lean in and go for the kill on Dewalt. Gonna find the pylon here, just be annoying. It won't supply block Dewalt, but it's just another loss he has to deal with. And without having a shuttle, it's really difficult for Dewalt to actually get out and do anything. I think if he did, he would probably try to go out and pick off some some reinforcements with this group of Dragoons. This is an opportunity. If he can get those 4 Dragoons. Oh, wait, we got a drop going to the main. That's where the other Reaver went. Okay, I was wondering. It looked like he was missing something. And Khala not noticing this. If Dewalt, oh, 8 kills. This is insane damage. Khala now notices it. I think. Oh yeah, he can drop and get off maybe one shot. One shot. Oh, he's just gonna sacrifice, suicide. I think that was worth it. Pulls the whole Khala's whole army back down. He now has a worker advantage over Khala. That was a good trade.
These are a lot of zealots.
Like zealots, he's got like Khala is just gonna try with a bunch of zealots. He knows he's still ahead, but if he gives Dewalt time, Dewalt will even the game up. So I think he knows just make a ton of zealots and just bludgeon it. But Dewalt has 2 Reavers and he will have Storm, so I don't know if he'll have energy for Storm, but we'll see.
It seemed really risky. I think he could have easily lost the shuttle there. A few more Dragoon hits, but worked out, I guess. You can
do have a shuttle coming. Okay, yeah, Dewalt will have a shuttle. Okay, and there's no Reaver or shuttle for Khala, that I can tell. Oh, I don't know if I like this move out though. He needs to fight over the bridge.
Yeah, I don't know about this move out.
There was a DT on the map. He knows this is coming. So I don't know if this is a smart move here. He's gonna get sandwiched. And Protoss don't really have good ways of sniping.
Oh, no, my god.
Hits again. Okay, he does save him, but he's got to pull those Reavers back. Oh, he loses one. You can't be losing Reavers like that against this.
His units aren't fighting in sync.
Oh no, the High Templar just running in, not doing anything at all. What a way to go out, man. I felt like he had such a great position. He made a great
position. It's the engagement. It kind of happened as the second time. His units weren't fighting together. He had like a group off in the back and a group in front. Khala's just attacking his one, right?
Yeah, I don't know if he was just off his game or something, but that was a little strange. I feel like
that's a shame.
Dewalt's a strong player. I don't know.
Yeah, that Reaver really brought it back for him. He had a good unit composition, good number of Reavers. Like he just wasn't
like microing the right things at the right time. Like
just didn't need to come out. I totally agree with you. He should have stayed in there and tried to grab the 12 o'clock. But I don't know.
2 base versus 2 base. I just mean like the actual engagements themselves. I feel like I don't know if he's like off macroing or something, but
I think when you're also going up against like Khala's 2,500 in Korea, like he's playing Koreans and he has that MMR, so that might have a psychological effect on you, even if you're the top foreigner.
Yeah,
arguably the top foreigner along with Bonnet.
I don't know. I mean, Dewalt showed. I think he shows there. He is actually, but I feel like just he has to clean up his engagements. If he cleans up his engagements, I think he actually could win that series. But
it's 3-0. How do you go into your 4th game? This is a best of 7, folks, with 3 losses in a row. Well, he's doing it. Next map is Polypoid.
I remember watching a Pro League match where Team Oz fielded J-Dong, and the other team fielded all their players, all lost, and then the show was over. Just all kill. And it doesn't happen too often, but hopefully Dewalt can bring it back here. Again, I think Dewalt's very strong. I think he can actually, like, looking at the way these games have gone, he's kept them very close. I don't feel like this is a stomp by any means. I think he just has to clean up his engagements a little bit.
3-0 for Khala so far in the best of 7. What's Dewalt gonna do this game?
Dewalt almost reaching 500, 600.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing when I think about it. When you're a top foreigner and you can beat foreigners with relative ease, I think Dewalt and Bonnet are at that level where they can really pick off games. But not being able to perform nearly as good, I would say, against semi-Korean pros. It's kind of weird place to be.
Yeah, sort of this weird tradition that's kind of just held true, and it still holds true in Brood War and StarCraft 2. It held true for years until about, I think Neeb was the first non-Korean to actually like win a stacked Korean tournament, and then although that wasn't consistent, it wasn't really until we had Cyril that it was someone actually consistently able to beat any Korean.
When the game came out, XTS Gur from Canada, Quebec, who I had the pleasure of playing against before, really nice guy. He was number 1. He beat Slayer Boxer, but that was short-lived.
Yeah, those early days
Dominated.
are kind of hard to compare, and I think a lot of it has just the, I don't want to call it culture, but it's the sort of the, I feel like there's this very kind of collaborative environment that the Korea environment fostered.
Yeah, they had something called KBK. I don't know if you remember it. It was Knightsbridge Koreans. It was a separate server. All the winners would go to Jeju Island, if that's how you pronounce it. I remember playing in it. I remember seeing Slayer Boxer in the channel at 3 in the morning, all giddy. It was fun. Some people cheated to go there, including Elky and other GG members. So GG in Square Brackets was one of the best teams, along with Team Liquid. It was a cool time, and Blizzard obviously sponsored a lot of events. But having said all that, I know Dewalt trains against Koreans, and that may be one of the reasons why he's so good at the game as well, because you just try to obviously play against people who are better than you to improve. And when I played a long time ago in 2000s, I would go on Korea server and play and get my ass kicked. And when I'd come back on US East, I would be able to take games off people much easier. And that was the kind of thing.
Beat down over and over again against a really good player, you don't necessarily feel how much better you are until you play against the other people, and then you realize, oh, you're just cleaning up some fundamentals in your game. Suddenly, just
it sucks though, because there's language barriers. You don't get to socialize at all, even though that's pretty limited in 1v1s. And you get your ass kicked all the time, so it's
difficult.
You're putting yourself through hell, kind of.
Yeah, and you see some personalities like Kandensi or whatever, just like they just literally move to Korea and learn Korean. And those are the people that have had probably the most success as foreigners, anyways. You know, like we have some.
That's a good point.
Have done very well while still living outside Korea, but I feel like out of the pool of people, those who really just threw everything into being able to, go to the place where the best of the best have done the best.
All right, so Khala's got his expansion up. Dewalt doesn't. Observers being made, 1 gateway.
Dewalt has a lot of probes.
That's good. Khala's really going up the tech tree.
Yeah, Khala's got his nexus up sooner, so even though he's down, he's gonna have a better. He should have better econ still.
Surprised he's not getting Reavers. He seems very good trolling them.
No, he's got a DT almost complete.
He's getting Storm.
So I'm wondering if he's even going to go. I think you have to go for Reavers.
I guess he's not getting his second assimilator.
Yeah. He is now, but I think you have to for Templar tech. Whereas if you're on Reaver tech, I think you can get by on just one gas, but I think you have to add a second gas anyway. It's just food production, but you might be able to delay it a little bit.
So Khala's build seems pretty good cross spawn positions.
Just Reaver's shuttle speed coming out from Dewalt. Looks like it. I don't think we've seen shuttle speed yet.
I think they had shuttle speed last game.
Sure.
Dewalt seemed to have zoomed into Khala's base with that shuttle, yeah.
Okay.
Then,
Maybe I was remembering the earlier engagement. Maybe they didn't have it, but he's getting it, I think, a lot faster this game. So I think he wants to be aggressive. Because I don't think we've seen Dewalt or Khala go for early Reaver drops. It's just been pushes, which you can do with a slow shuttle. So Dewalt getting a Citadel. So he may just be trying to go the Templar route like Khala, but I think I have a feeling he's not going that. I think he's going Zealot speed. See, he's adding an extra gateway. 4 gateways adding on top of Citadel. I think he's going to go for a giant Zealots as well.
It's always interesting to me watching the path that players choose to take with their shuttles to avoid any detection.
Yeah, I love that about some of these maps. Like, I don't like strategy tiny maps. And I appreciate that about them. Ah, yeah, nice. Oh, he does get a Templar though. That's. Wait for the probes to come back. Go in again. And yeah, we do see Dewalt going for Zealot speed. And he's up to 6, 7 gateways, I think.
Yeah,
So
I think.
Wait, he's going for a forge.
Reaver
I'm not sure
Harass
what
is
the
kind of
point
nice. I mean, it really puts you on your toes.
Yeah, I don't know if you. I feel like Dewalt's trying to go for a build where you don't get upgrades, but I could be wrong. I don't know.
I think if you PvP and you don't go Reavers, you get punished most of the time. Unless you have really bad Reaver control.
He also may just be going for. Is that a storm drop by Dewalt? Huh. But I think he also may be going for. He's getting a second shuttle. Dewalt is.
I think that was a storm by Khala to try to kill off maybe. Has he researched Storm?
Yeah,
I don't think he even has the Templar Archives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he may have gotten well, he's getting it now, but yeah, I think the reason he got, no, he is getting +1, but it's way behind Khala's, so I'm not entirely sure what he's doing. He added a lot of gateways on. He's adding in 2 more, going up to I think 9 gateways now. But his Khala is the one making units, so I'm not sure what exactly Dewalt's plan is here.
I like the Reavers, man. I think they're going to do a lot of damage. But having said that, these Templars do have a lot of energy. Look at that.
Dewalt is committing to some units. He's making High Templar, so I think he's going to go. I feel like he's going to go Zealot Archon, but again, this is a little weird. +2 started for Khala, and +1 only a little over half done for Dewalt, so I don't know. Maybe he was trying to go for a timing and then against it. I'm not sure what else. Yeah, here he is. He's adding in 7 Archon, so it's kind of what I was thinking it was going to be, but he just loses.
Ooh, so the gap in the mineral line is very good for Reaver drops. The Scarab will not get stuck behind the mineral line, and it's been paying off for Dewalt so
Is this
far.
a storm drop coming in? Or is that the DT? That's the DT. Yeah, I was thinking at first that Dewalt got the forge so he could make a cannon. Whoa. I don't know if that probe realized what happened, but
Khala got that
away.
DT very early.
Yeah, it was weird. I thought that Dewalt was gonna go for a forge so he could have protection. But let's see what happens here. He's got the initial shots off. He needs to pick up. Okay, good time. He did a good job that time. Dewalt has the position here. I don't think Khala can do this. Dewalt doesn't really need to stay here at this point. I think he's taking good engagements. Okay, he needs to get out of that storm.
Oh.
But he's just trading Zealots. He's trading minerals for. I don't know. He might be able to just kill Khala here. He's got Zealots rallying in. Yeah, he's got Zealots rallying in. He can probably just push this and kill Khala. Zealots can tank for first stage. Does lose the Reavers, but I think this is too many Zealots. He just focused on the cannons now.
That storm was huge though. Killed 2 Reavers and the shuttle.
False Dragoon's getting distracted by the pylon. Okay, he is controlling it now. Just backing up. He's gonna just macro out some more. At this point, I don't think he can actually press the issue now. I think he has to reset, but I mean, he lost his tech as well. So the game is. They both lost the tech of their army, but Dewalt has a third base.
57
which
probes.
Did not get attacked by Khala's DT. I think Khala just realized that, like, oops, I wasn't hitting with my DT. But it's too late now. Missed opportunity for sure. I'm sure if Khala, looking back, watched the replay of this, I'm sure he's making a note of that. That DT could have probably killed all those probes. But yeah, Dewalt's so far ahead right now. He is adding in upgrades, armor and attack, but I think if you're Dewalt, you just want to power up and deny that third base again. If he denies the third base again, the game should just end. But Dewalt going for an expansion, so I don't know, maybe he's unsure about trying to attack in. Still a 50 supply lead for Dewalt.
Yeah, I can't see him losing this. Unless something
No, I
really
don't think
strange
he will.
happens.
Like, I know some of his engagements have looked weird, but I think he's close enough in skill. He's not gonna throw this lead. And he actually did. If you watched his engagement this last time, he cleaned up his Reaver control a lot, or his shuttle control. I think part of it is having the speed shuttle, and maybe he's just doing that as a comfort thing because he's like, I want a speed shuttle to, just be able to get in and out. And here he goes. He's had a lot of success with Reaver drops in this series. Oh no. Oh, simultaneous attack here? Kidding. I don't know what's watching, but
Those are
Not
nice
sure
storms.
yeah, I'm not sure if the storms helped Khala more or hurt him more. I don't know. I think they helped him, but interesting strat to just storm your Zealots. Khala Dewalt getting a little separated. Good pullback here. He needs to. I think he really needs to decide if he's fighting Khala or denying the base. He can't do both here. sacrifice his army there, but all said and done, he's still 40 supply up. Did not deny the third base this time, though, so I think
If he wasn't so far ahead, I'd say it was a mistake not to take out that Nexus.
Yeah, he's still trading well. Like, I think he killed all the...
But he did kill all the probes, and Khala just has 28.
Yeah, and he got his fourth base up and running. So you can trade inefficiently as long as you're trading, like, actually trading. I think Khala is trying to make a desperation play here. I don't know if those are Dragoons or Zealots, but yeah. Looking for a run by, not going to happen.
Ready?
Funny how they wander out. What's your favorite neutral critter?
Ursadon.
Your Ursadon's your favorite?
I think it's everybody's.
I think they're my favorite too. How can you not love
It's a fuzzy, fat-looking creature, yeah. The other ones are cool, but they just don't seem to have much character.
I just always want to, like, take that one. Okay, let's see. So, good storms this time, though. These are pretty much all in favor of Khala, so. But he has Reavers this time. So, yeah, Khala not even focusing on the Reavers. He's now doing it, but yeah.
A GG and a GG from Khala. That's good manner, PvP.
Wow.
Good job, Dewalt.
Solid win by Dewalt. I think
yeah, Khala's first engagement was a bad idea. I think this is high ground, and Dewalt had the advantage there. And Khala had a bunch of Templars and wasn't really storming with them.
Yeah, I think
it went horrible for him.
I think Khala just didn't know that Dewalt's army was there. It looked like he was just caught off guard.
I wonder if he was like building units out of a gateway at that time. I always wonder about that.
Yeah, I think maybe he just saw that and thought, oh, I need to...
You know, when you get caught off guard like that, it's like, should I delay making units so I can focus on microing, or should I just, you know, slip back for 2 seconds? I don't really know what the call on that is. Personally, when I used to play, I would micro over macroing at that moment, especially if there's a lot of units involved, or even if you have like one Reaver or whatever. And it's an
I think it's a general rule if you want to try and break it down. Like if you try to express like when is the right time, you generally will always want to micro if it involves. You never sacrifice your position in order to macro. Like
right.
Strategic position you need, prioritize that over macro.
Anytime I would attack, I would make sure that I had just begun the cycle and time it so that by the time my cycle was done, more or less the engagement would be done or whatever.
Like if I'm like, okay, all my circlings are in the enemy's, you know, line, and my ultras are there, and my defilers have cast their abilities, then okay, then I'll hit my hatcheries real quick. Because there's really nothing to micro, but important micro. But like, I would not send all my ultras and lings in, then go macro and then try and control the defilers. You know, you don't do something like that, or you know, don't burrow your lurkers because you know you got a macro, you know, and then they all die. You know, you want to always be having your position first.
So this is game 5, 3-1 for Khala. And we're seeing...
Yeah, this is interesting here.
Proxy Gate on a 4-player map. Dewalt has no idea where Khala is.
2 gate?
The map is Ringing Bloom.
Yeah, I think this is a 9-9 gate. Yep.
And it looks like he's gonna go. So he's got 3 positions to scout.
Yeah, this is really looking.
And Khala's gonna catch it early on.
Yep. He's first scouting Dewalt. gonna have time to put down a second gateway before.
Okay, so he sees something is up.
Yeah, he's gonna get down. Yeah, he'll have plenty of time to get down a second gateway or a full tunnel.
I mean, this is really unfortunate when you're doing that.
Yeah, because now Khala has a 3-worker advantage going into this rush, and
Khala.
Dewalt will have a small construction advantage over Dewalt just because he has gateways faster. But by the time the Zealots walk in, it'll almost control will matter more than anything else.
Scouting that early on, I mean, it just...
Yeah, and Dewalt's probably shaking his head now.
Pretty much ends strategy.
It's not, yeah, and it's not lost yet, but he's gonna have to control this flawlessly.
You know? Or Khala just makes a huge mistake, but he's got 2 gateways. Walt Zealot has already taken 2 hits.
Yeah.
3 hits now.
And a shield battery. Oh, he's proxy shield battery. Okay, yeah, he's done this rush before.
Got a shield battery from Khala. 4 Zealots to 3.
Oh, okay, yeah, really good control by Dewalt there. Wow, really good control by Dewalt. Alright, he needs the backup, he's got the concave.
Microing and pumping out Zealots, I love it.
Oh, some of Dewalt's Zealots glitching out.
Home court advantage for Khala.
He needs to focus that wounded Zealot. Yeah, I think Dewalt will take this now. I'm sorry, Khala. Yeah.
Alright. There you have it. In this best of 7. Khala won 4-1.
It was a great play, I think, but going for that, I mean, I guess he was down so many games, just like you can't necessarily count on. Like Dewalt can take a macro game, but when you're down that many games,
I kind of don't get this based on the last game. I get this if you lost. Although maybe the thinking was my opponent won't expect something more cheesy because I had just won a game. Is this kind of a strategy you would do when you lose a game? I don't know.
Well, I mean, he was down 3-0, then he won a macro game, so I feel like going for a cheese kind of makes sense because otherwise he has to win 3 more games.
But it's like the last game he proved that he could win straight up.
I mean, all the games he kind of proved that, I feel like. It's just...
Yeah, bad micro engagements.
So, yeah,
but
like
it was pretty lopsided last game.
Yeah, but I think that was more Khala's fault than Dewalt's.
More lopsided than some of the games that Khala had won.
Yeah.
So it was... I don't know.
So I feel like if you could count on it, that being maybe the unusual case and just counting on games being more even, then it's just hard. Like if you have to play against someone who's basically your skill level, it's gonna just playing.
I still don't get it.
Very tiring. So
He won the game. Yeah. I would have liked to see just the straight up.
It's a risk, though. It's definitely a risk. He got first scouted, so that's.
Yeah, and he's such a strong player that I just don't think he needs to do something.
Well, I feel like when you're at a really high level, you kind of want to mix that stuff in because if you never ever cheese, just because you don't have to, then you'll actually win less than if you cheese sometimes. Like you should always make your opponent think that you might possibly do something scary, just so they check for it, because otherwise they'll just assume you're not going to play that, and they'll go for their own counter to what they think you're going to do. So, but anyways, good series.
That was fun.